In 1989, I was a Marine stationed at the Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California, and I happened to have a room on the first floor next to the rooms that normally were empty and were reserved for visiting officers. And after the wall went down between East and West Germany, and people speculated that the Soviet Union, the USSR, had collapsed, two Marine Corps intelligence officers came for a refresher course in Russian language. And they were in the room next to me. And after the first night, I was telling this older Marine that I knew, I said, wow, these guys were having this amazing conversation, and I could partially hear it through the vent, but I really wanted to hear that conversation. I wish I could have been in that room so much. And he said, they start talking again tonight, he said, just go over and knock on the door and ask if you can sit in. He said, I bet you they'll let you. So the next night, they started talking again. I knocked on the door, and I sat in their room, and I listened to these two officers. At least one was a captain. I think the other was a lieutenant. And they basically were having a debate about whether or not the Soviet Union really was collapsing or if it was only a ruse. And basically, the one officer said, no, they really collapsed. They've been defeated because of economic problems. And so they've had to collapse because they can't manage their empire. And the other officer said, no, this is a deceit. The Russians are very clever, and they are willing to do anything for a victory. And it's that second officer who is right. And here's the reason why. The Lord showed me in a dream, years later, this was in the mid-90s, I was living in Philadelphia, and I had a dream, and the Lord showed me there was a building, and inside this building they were storing some kind of nuclear weapons. And today these weapons are called a suitcase nuke. I had never heard of a suitcase nuke by then, but I was shown clearly in the dream that it's not really suitcase size. These things were moved out on a large wheeled cart, like they had to load them up and move them out. And there was one Russian agent who was going to steal these, and there was another Russian agent who was in charge of safeguarding these things. And the safeguarding agent, he knew that they were going to be stolen, so he changed all the codes. And this one other guy, whom he particularly knew of, he made sure that his card would not work. But see, the thing is that the second guy, the thief, he had already visited the Guardian previously and stole his ID card, and he used the Guardian's own ID card to get into the building later and steal them. See, this is some of the cleverness of the Russians. Like, he came to visit him to tell him what he was up to and steals his card, knowing the guy's going to think everything's safe when he blocks his card, but really he's got the Guardian's card. So he totally outsmarted him. And people, the Russians are very, very clever. They can make intricate plans. And people just don't think that someone will carry off a detailed plan like this. And here's what the Russians have done. They looked at all their simulations, a thermonuclear war with the United States. They said, no one wins. We can't win. But they came up with this plan. We can win if we will have someone else do it. Then the retaliation hits those guys, hits the stooges, and we walk away scot-free. This is the plan, and it's underway. It's underway. When the Soviet Empire collapsed, right, disassembled as part of a ruse, as part of their long-term game plan to defeat the United States, they also sent spetsnaz soldiers. Those soldiers are in the United States now. I know that at least there are some in Sacramento. I've seen in dreams that these people are in Alaska and other places. And here's the thing, if you're for the CIA and you want to help find these guys, I know that they have to check in at least every 3 months or something like this in order to get their retirement. They're still on the pay books. They're living in the United States and they're still earning their pay. They're still accruing retirement from the Soviet Union. These spetsnaz soldiers are still here, and recently someone else has reported that they dreamed that these Russian soldiers are working with the Chinese to show them where these missiles are hidden, where these nuclear warheads are hidden. They're working with the terrorists to show them that these former spetsnaz soldiers, and you know what, there's real-time intel that confirms this. It's been in the news that some spetsnaz soldiers have been meeting with Qaida guys to show them where these bombs are hidden. So don't think when these things blow up that, oh, you know what, it's some terrorists. No. The mastermind, The masterminds are in Moscow. That's who's going to do this work. So this is the man from Modesto reminding everyone, as always, to pray or be defeated.